There we go.
Cool.
Is this the way you want it?
Huh? Yeah. Perfect.
Okay.
All right.
Well, I'm not really centered, so move your computer. There you go.
Yeah, there we go.
And you, at
Better.
least, you don't want me half. Or maybe you do. Okay, let's go.
All right.
All set?
Yeah, we're all set.
All right, we're on here, Facebook. This is a pregame show. Houston Dynamo against FC Dallas. Obviously, a big 6 points here. Thanks for tuning in. If you are, we remind you that there is a postgame show here as well, and generally we got a lot of good feedback from the day. I think the first thing I would say is I hope everybody's doing okay out there after this incredible storm we had 2 days ago. Yeah. And if you don't have power and electricity, my heart goes out to you. Hang in there. But I think we call this game with that in mind here, with all the destruction and things that have occurred here in Houston. So let's start off. The Houston Dynamo come in at 5-5-2. Eighth, 17 points. Big issue, still scoring goals. They only have 11 goals. They're 28 out of 29 in Major League Soccer. We have to be in reality with that part of the Dynamo game. They come off of playing Austin FC. They outplay Austin FC for a second time, but they don't take what they deserve because they just cannot score goals right now. It's the third game in 8 days for the Houston Dynamo. FC Dallas had Wednesday off. They come in at 3-6-2, 11 points. They sit in 12th place. 12 goals for, 16 goals against, -4 goal differential for them. So, you know, I think in general what you're going to see tonight is a deep defending FC Dallas and a Dynamo team that's going to have to break down a deeper defending team and be extremely acute and aware of FC Dallas in transition. And I think this will make more sense when I give you the lineups here. So let's go with the Houston Dynamo first. You got Steve Clark. There's only one change to their lineup from the Austin game, and that's Daniel Steres comes in to left back. Griffin Dorsey's the right back. You got Eric Sviatchenko, Mikhail holding down the center back positions. Artur's in the 6. Hector Herrera, Coco Carrasquilla. You got Amin Bassi. You got Sebastian Kowalczyk in the false 9, which will not have much of an influence on a team if it's a deep defending team tonight. So the false 9 really becomes irrelevant if, in fact, Dallas defends deep a lot here tonight. And then Aliou out on the left, who's a Dynamo leading goal scorer with 4 goals. The bench is Brad Smith, Ethan Bartlow, Andrew Tarbell, Mackenzie Gaines, Latif Blessing, Gabe Siegel, Jan Gregush, Tate Schmidt, and Brooklyn Raines will get to the bench here tonight. No Sebas Ferreira remains out. No Franco Escobar. What I did hear that Ferreira's coming along, lower body injury. And I did hear Franco Escobar is getting closer. So that's all I can say on that. For FC Dallas, Martin Paz is starting. Their 3 center backs are Tafari in the middle. Sebastian Ibeaga, who used to be in the Dynamo Academy, went to Duke. Sam Junka, another former Dynamo, is one of the center backs. Now, here's the big one, though. For FC Dallas, they are going to replace Aisher Yaramende and Liam Frazier, 2 veterans, with 2 extremely young players, including one who's never played in MLS, who's 19 years old, Nolan Norris, who's been on North Texas, which is their second team. And then there's Patrick Sin Delgado, who's 20 years old, who's an Ecuadorian. So they're replacing 2 very huge pieces of experience in center midfield to go up against the likes of Artur and Hector Herrera. The other part of this is that Yaramende and Frazier were 2 guys that are very progressive in getting the ball forward, 2 very good passers. Both of those guys are out tonight injured, okay? So that's a big piece of what's happening in midfield. Then you've got Marco Farfan and Tomasi out wide. And then the way it's listed in the lineups, but they will sit deep, is Peter Musa, who's got 4 goals, Jesus Ferreira, and then Bernard Kamungo. And we all know Ferreira and Kamungo can be real targets in transition as well as Musa. So when the ball's lost here tonight, expect the Dynamo to have a lot of the possession. When the ball's lost, Boy, they got to be really, really sharp on, one, getting pressure on the ball, hopefully getting good moments of the repress, and then number two, being careful of FC Dallas in transition. All right, what do you got for us, Justin?
Real quick, guys, be sure to like, share, subscribe, all the above to this video. We did actually end up getting it on YouTube now. It is, it's been on YouTube. It's now on Facebook, and it's also on Twitter. So we have multiple outlets now to catch the show. Also, don't forget Soccer Matters Monday at 6 o'clock Central, and Wednesday 6 o'clock Central on 97.5 and 92.5.
Yeah, by the way, Monday, we have an interview with Johan Mojica, who's a left back for the Colombian national team. That'll be playing here in Houston against Paraguay in the Copa America, which is coming up. That's an interesting interview with a Colombian team that's not lost in over 20 games with Nestor Lorenzo, an Argentine coach. So if you're thinking about a Copa America game, honestly, I would take that game any day over Mexico-Jamaica. Sorry, Mexico fan.
I will also say this. Be sure to tune into the show. Glenn gives a fair amount of tickets out. And the only way to win them.
We got a lot now.
Yeah.
We've got also Lionel Messi, Inter Miami against Tigres tickets as well, because that's going to be part of the Leagues Cup. Dynamo will be in the Leagues Cup as well. We have Dynamo tickets, Dash. We got Copa America. We got Inter Miami. There's a cornucopia of tickets going out every show. So if you're up for getting some free tickets,
there you go.
Tune in.
Couple questions for you, Glenn, since we've went through the lineup.
Okay.
What do you expect from Dallas with their depleted roster? I mean, they got 7 guys out.
Yeah, same thing. I mean, there has been a lot of talk with Nico Estevez about the focus on them in the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup, which on Wednesday they'll play Tampa. He's saying they're very committed to that. But again, you really got to watch the 2 central midfielders now, the 2 holding type midfielders. Nolan Norris, who's only 19 years of age, no MLS minutes. He gets a start. Patrickson Delgado gets a start. He's appeared 11 times. He's mostly been coming off the bench. He's been capped by Ecuador. But to lose a Yaramende and then to lose Frazier out of their midfield is big. But again, I think it's deep defending from Dallas. Keep the game in front of you. That's what you're going to do against a team that's struggling to score goals, 28th out of 29th in the league. The trick for them is to find a balance of possession at times, real threat in transition. And, the Dynamo are going to have to break this down. And I think the ways you do that is it's a number of things. I think you got to circulate the ball quickly. I think this is where Hector Herrera getting a start is a very, very big piece for the Houston Dynamo, with him leading the way. The other thing is to get penetration out wide. The other thing is hold it in the middle third of the field, try and tease them out. Really be good at recognizing moments, though, when they lose their team shape, and to really hit them and get commitment going forward. And then much of it will be also just pressure and getting balls in the box and being aggressive in there. I mean, it's not great when you got Kowalczyk and Bassi, who are not exceptionally big guys or headers of the ball. They're workers for sure. But we'll see. It's 2 of the lower scoring teams in MLS. The Dynamo and Dallas are 2 of the better defending teams. Dynamo are top 3 in MLS, along with Columbus and Cincinnati.
I wanted to see if you wanted to touch a little more on that. How can Ben and the Dynamo create chances against a Dallas side that we know is going to defend deep today?
It's the age-old question for the season. Chance creation is important. They did have their chances on the road in the last game, but it's got to be a mix of things. Has to be a moment from an individual. Wide game, penetration, circulate the ball quickly, influence them where your possession is to try and pull them out and test their resolve and sitting deep. But, I don't think there's any question you might get Dallas trying to surprise you and hit you cold in the beginning of the game with a little bit of a higher press, and then ultimately they're going to settle back in. It'll be a night where the Dynamo are going to dominate the possession. That's not saying anything special when it comes to FC Dallas and the fact that the Dynamo is a good possession-oriented team. But Ben Olsen in the press conference this week said we need more high-intensity runs. We need more box organization, more players in the box, right pass at right time. listen, this is a tough position for the coach to be in because he's saying a lot of the same things after every game now, right? Because you are not scoring goals.
Yeah.
And it is a problem. And it either means somebody's going to purchase somebody in the summer transfer window. The hope was Hector Herrera coming back with Sebas Ferreira. Now there's a lot of doubt, and I think a lot of people's minds about Sebas Ferreira. 2 injuries in a short amount of time. He looked like he was up for it. We didn't really get to see that. Hector's now starting to round into form, getting a few more minutes in games. Got rested in the last game, was brought on in Austin to try and win it. Game before that, got 70 minutes in. So let's see what he gets here tonight. But, the goal-scoring thing is a real issue.
Dynamo,
it's a real issue.
Only 2 goals in the last 5
You
matches.
can't dance around it. And, when you play Austin FC and you dominate them in every facet of the game and you don't score goals and you don't take what you deserve, that is frustrating. And fans want to see goals. And I know it's, hard for the coach and the staff and everybody to constantly hear we need another player and all, and we need a goal scorer, but that does seem like it is a solution. You're going to have to find another goal scorer. Hopefully, the few times that Dallas pulls out tonight, I hope the Dynamo can maybe hit them and get behind them through Aliu a little bit too.
Couple comments. Chris Flores, he does say he likes Dallas's chances, treating the Dynamo like an early round Open Cup match until we create better chances. Let's see. We got Chris Flores too. He likes the Eric interview. Eric's his favorite player currently and wishes that he was the captain.
Chris, thanks for that. Yeah, I love interviewing Eric. I'll tell you one thing interesting about interviewing Eric is this is a little trade secret, but a lot of times you'll get better stuff out of veterans because they're more calm in their skin. They're experienced. They've seen a lot of things. The Eric interview was really, really interesting. And there was some off-camera stuff that I'll talk about on the radio show this week, or off-interview stuff prior to it that was really interesting. He was very surprised to learn about the history of soccer in Houston, going all the way back to the late 60s, the different pro teams that have been here, Houston Stars, Houston Hurricanes, Houston Dynamos in the past, Houston Hotshots indoor. Very surprised about that. Didn't really know anything about that, and it's because we don't do a good job of telling people about that in this city, and we don't take that as a prideful part of coming here, every day when we play, realizing there's history. I mean, I'd have a logo from every single one of those teams up here somewhere, and a little corner of the stadium that showed people what Houston soccer history was, and take this deeper because there's still a lot of people that were attached to all those teams. Plus, they may be older also, and they may be people that can be gatekeepers and teach a little bit of the history to the younger fan base. There's 2 different types of fans. You got fans who are really people that are going to watch the game for 90 minutes, dig in deep, and then you got spectators who will watch a little highlight video, and they're different. As long as you buy a ticket, it doesn't matter. But we do need more from the fans. What else we got? Anything else?
No, pretty much it. We're getting ready to wrap the show up. Thank you guys for tuning in. Today, we had some regulars here. Cam Strickland's tuning in from Austin. He's going to watch the Austin SKC match first.
No problem, Cam.
Chris does agree also with the logos and the history in the stadium. I think that'd be a cool touch.
There's so many really cool things that could be done. I wish they were. They've been presented in the past.
Yeah.
Really kind of, I don't know. What I would say before we take off here, tune in after the game because this is where I really like your feedback from what you saw in the game. This is the part of it I like, the analytical side of it. I often learn from you guys calling as well. I mean, I think there's a lot of great give and take. So we'll see you after the game. If you do want to catch my call, the local call on Apple TV, I don't know, you got to click on the local.
Yeah, there's a option, alternative audio option on the Apple TV broadcast. You can click home radio call, and that's where you'll be able to catch Glenn. with the call of the game. Don't forget, guys. Again, be sure to like, share, subscribe on YouTube, like on Facebook, follow on Twitter and X, as well as Instagram too. Also do the same for Glenn Davis Sock on Instagram.
And Soccer Matters,
Yep.
GD.
And
Listen, all of this stuff means a lot. Your interactions, your likes. You want to help me continue to grow this, which I've never stopped trying to grow it all these years. 27 years on TV and 23 on the radio. Please help out in those areas. It means a lot to me. It means a lot to keeping radio on the air, and it also means a little bit to sponsors, which is very, very important when it keeps to keep radio going. So thank you very much for tuning in, and we'll see you a little bit later.
Up 4.
Yeah, because I want to get on quick and get out quick. I want to do a good solid 20, 25 minutes and be gone.
Yeah. Unless people want to talk to you.
Well, I'm sure there'll be some. I think there's some regulars.